have a great pleasure. Because tonight, all the speakers are very experienced and amazing, and it will touch your heart. And that is for sure true for Michael. Because Michael has a power that not a lot of people have. He has the power of standing present in his vulnerability. And I'm sure that in his next talk, Michael and the Octopus will see his beauty shine through. Michael, come here and show.
I've had a fire ignited in my heart and my soul since I was a child. There was always something that I felt like I was meant to do. Have you guys ever had that? Have you ever felt like deep in here, something resonate with you, where you're like, this is the thing that I am supposed to do? I see some people nodding their heads. I think we've all had that moment, that thing where like, yes, I know it. I didn't actually figure that out until I was 28. When I was a child, I grew up in Indiana, small little city called Indianapolis, surrounded by cornfields and cows. Not a lot happening there, right? I was also surrounded by murder and drugs and guns and theft and running from the cops and breaking the law and doing a lot of things that I really probably shouldn't have been doing. And my life was heading to one place, the graveyard. I watched my friends get murdered. I watched my society crumble around me. I watched my family be torn and ripped apart by drugs and alcohol. And yet I knew here there was still something that I was meant to do. I thought I knew what the solution was. I thought that I could expand my thought, my situation, my livelihood through money. And I chased it. After not graduating high school on time, I had a teacher tell me the most important thing that I've ever been told. He said, you cannot get by in life on your charms and your good looks. If you want something, you have to earn it. And that summer, I had a revelation sitting in summer school. All my friends graduated, had fun, went on their adventures, and eventually off to college. I realized that he was right. And if I wanted something, I would have to go get it. And I decided to chase money. And I landed a job in corporate America working for a Fortune 50 firm at 20 years old, something unheard of. And I got everything that I wanted and more. You see, money, I thought, was going to solve all of my problems. It would solve poverty, it would solve homelessness, it would solve all the things that I needed fixed in my life. But the truth is that it exacerbated all of the problems that I was hiding deep inside. It was the drug abuse, the alcoholism, and believe it or not, at one point I was 70 kilos heavier than I am right now. Because I took that money and I just put it into all of the worst places. And when I was 28 years old, I had another revelation. As I sat in my living room getting ready to head out to work, I walked into the bathroom and I buttoned up a size 4 XL shirt. And the look that I saw reflected back into the mirror was not the look of the person that promised themselves as a child that they would do that thing that they knew that they were supposed to do. And in that moment, I made a declaration to myself that no matter what, from that moment forward, I would go in the direction of igniting my life in a way that is prosperous for not only myself, but the people around me. And I didn't realize at that time that it would take another almost 6 years before I was standing on a stage in Bali telling you guys this story. And in that process, I learned a lot of really important things. I learned the importance of self-care, self-love, community, kindness, taking steps forward even when we take steps back, getting back up, and not making excuses. You see, but my mind was also expanded during a trip to Vietnam, where I tried psychedelics for the first time. And as I laid in a float tank in the middle of Vietnam, in a place where, not much unlike Bali, you should probably never do drugs, I sat there having my first microdose of mushrooms. And in that moment, my world expanded in a way that I've never experienced. And I realized, as I sat in the bottom of the ocean, and it was pitch black, that there was a small gold light shining. And my curiosity got the best of me. And I swam towards that light. And as I got closer and closer and closer, I realized that it was a treasure chest. And as I got closer, I was arm's reach away from it. And just as I was reaching my hand to it, an octopus came and wrapped its arms around the chest. And it said, "You are not ready to see what is in here." And I argued with the octopus because I am stubborn. And I said, "Yes, I am. You show me what's in that chest." And it said, "No, you're not ready." And I begged and I begged and I begged. And I said, "Please, I am ready. Show me what is here." And it showed me. And I dove in. And it made me realize one of the most important things I've ever discovered about myself. And that was, I walked into a situation where I saw the child version of me, that same child who had promised to ignite the world, being abused. And I promised that child that I would take care of it. And I was sucked out of the chest. And in that moment, this giant octopus turned blue and wrapped its arms around me and told me that I was going in the direction that I was needing to go. And then I was awake. Still in the pitch black of the float tank in the middle of Vietnam, I realized that it was time to go. I had a friend who was begging me to come to Bali. Text message, voicemails, calls. "Michael, come to Bali. Michael, come to Bali." And I was like, "No thanks, I don't want to come to Bali." And after his convincing, I was like, you know what? I will go to Bali. Maybe something amazing will happen. And on the first day, as I'm landing, the plane is coming down. The sun is shining off the wing into the cabin. And there's this beautiful, warm, orange light. And as I'm looking out the window, tears just begin to fall down my face. The first sign that maybe I was in the right direction. The very next day, my first full day in Bali, I'm walking down the street. There's a little place called Tamara Gallery. And on the outside of that building, there is a giant blue octopus. And I don't know much about life, but I know that if you follow what's in here, it will always lead you to where you need to go. So I challenge you, as you move forward in life, listen to the universe, listen to your friends, and follow the octopus. Thank you.
Thank you.